Hi guys, welcome to another video from your friendly lecturer from around the corner. Today we're talking about how to approach an exam paper. In other words, how to dissect an exam paper when we're walking into an examination hall. So we're going to deal with some of the key issues that you're going to have to deal with and how you will approach them and what are the main pitfalls that you're trying to avoid. First thing that you need to think about is what do the instructions actually ask you to do? Because if you don't read the instructions, clearly you don't know what you're doing. One of the most common mistakes is that people don't read the instructions carefully, they don't estimate the time they've got available, they don't check how many questions they have to do, and they end up doing something really wrong, losing them a lot of marks and resulting very often in failure. You do not want to be those people. What are you supposed to do, therefore? You read your rubric of the exam carefully and thoughtfully and make sure that you understand what it is that you have to do. Once you're confident that you got how much time you've got and how many questions you have to do, then you can move on to step 2. Now, moving on to step 2. Step 2. Read all the questions before you decide which ones you want to do. I know that this sounds fairly obvious, but we've got lots of people who make this mistake. You read the first question and you're thinking, oh, I know this one. This one is about, say, director's duties or something. I'll do that one. But it turns out it's not. Or it turns out that the question after it is actually easier or something that you prepared a little bit more carefully. So it is crucial that you read all the questions thoroughly and carefully before deciding which ones to pick for your exam answer. Crucial skill, crucial thing to remember. Another key little trick while we're at this. Once you make your decision, stick to it. You don't have the time to change your mind afterwards. The worst mistakes that we see are people who start answering a question and then after they've written a page or so, they decide they would rather be doing something else, they stop and they start from scratch. This means that you will run out of time and you won't be able to finish your exam properly. So don't do that. Make your careful selection and then stick to it. Another common and very terrible mistake is selecting to do a question on something that looks easy as opposed to a question on something that you've prepared. So it could be that you prepared a range of topics, but then you find like a short essay question that looks super easy and you're thinking, oh, come on, I'm gonna do this. You start writing it and then after you've written a paragraph, you run out of things to say. Bad decision. Don't do this. Read the questions carefully, make your selection on the basis of what you actually know and what you have revised properly. Do not decide to do something random right on the minute, right on the day, because very quickly you're going to run out of things to say. One of the questions I normally get is whether you should be doing essay questions or problem questions, especially in company law. This is something that you're going to have to think about, and my recommendation is that you're probably better off with problem questions rather than essays for reasons that I explained in the other video that you can see linked down on the comments box. As regards the topics that you've revised, you have to be aware of one fact. It could be that you prepared the topic, but you prepared it as a problem and then it comes up as an essay. Or the other way around, you prepared a lot of sort of theory discussion on something you expected to come as an essay, but it turns out that it comes out as a problem. So be very careful with your selection on this one, because if you're prepared for one type and then you get it on another, maybe you won't be able to perform as good. So perhaps you should think about doing another question. You've read everything, you made your selections, you're confident about your selections, and then you jump straight in and you start writing. Big mistake. You shouldn't be writing anything unless you've done a plan for yourself. Structure is very important in your answers, and this is where things go horribly wrong, because you've got it in your head, but the way that you're writing it down on paper does not communicate to me, and I'm your examiner, right? If I don't get what you're writing, it doesn't matter what you think you're writing. So for what you're writing to actually make sense, you have to keep your structure straight, and you need to be clear about what you're talking about and how you're talking about it. So plan a little bit and plan carefully before you start writing down on paper and spending time writing your answer. Now, on issues of substance, what you're actually writing in there that you're going to get marks out of. Are you really answering the question, or are you reproducing what the textbook says? Another way to put this, are you actually answering the question that I said, or are you answering a question that you prepared? Both of these things are a problem, because if you're just reproducing the textbook, it shows that you don't understand really what you're talking about, and you're not going to get full marks because you're not adequately answering the question. If on the other hand, you're giving me an answer to a question that you prepared, but not the question that I'm asking, again, you're close, but you're not exactly what we're asking for. So you have to be very careful about what you're giving us. Don't give us the textbook. Don't give us your stock answer on director's duties that I know all of you are very well preparing and you're very keen on. Answer the question that I actually said. If I'm not mistaken, you guys are law students. And what distinguishes a law student from any other student? Your ability to tell us what the law is and to do this appropriately. Therefore, mentioning adequate authority and offering the proper references and the proper citations to cases and statutes is what is necessary for you to pass this exam. If you're writing stuff and you're giving us your opinion of what the law might be without actually providing the references that validate that this is the law, you're not getting many marks. So think very carefully about references and citations every time you're putting down an answer, even though this is an exam paper. What is the thing that proves fatal in an exam? Bad timing. Keep your eye on the clock, because if you run out of time and you don't answer all the questions, obviously you're not going to get a very good mark. And think about it. If you're asked to do 4 questions, giving 4 incomplete answers, even though they're not perfect, is much better than giving 3 perfect ones and then missing the other one entirely. Because even if you write something, even if it's terrible, just for the effort of writing something, I'm going to give you some marks for it. If you've written nothing at all, I'm not giving you any marks at all. So work out the math. Are you going to do better by having 3 questions that are perfect and 1 that's missing, or writing 4 questions that are fairly average? I think the second option is going to get you the better marks. So, timing, crucial. Don't run out of time. Answer all the questions as requested. Are you the sort of person that freaks out? Maybe you are, maybe you're not, but trust me, the majority of people in an exam setting will freak out. And if you're doing a traditional exam where you have to walk into an exam hall, it's quite possible that you're going to have this moment when you go, I can't remember anything at all. It can happen, so be prepared for this. Be prepared for the stress that comes with an exam. Now, the only way to fight that stress is good preparation. The more you study, the better prepared you're going to be, the higher the chances of success. And I know it's going to be difficult, but do whatever you can to keep yourself calm when you're walking into the exam hall and when you're actually picking up your pen and starting on your paper. What is my favorite quote in regards to exams? Those who prepare well do well. Obvious, isn't it? Well, I hope that you're going to take this advice and prepare perfectly for your exam, and the better you are prepared, the better your mark is going to be. Now, I hope you enjoyed this rather obvious advice and ridiculous graphics. If you did, press that subscribe button and also like this video so you get more of my face in the next podcasts to come. Thank you very much and good luck with your exams.